Hey guys, I'm so excited to be trying out the Nikkia Joy Cosmetics Flawless Base Collection. Inside this beautiful box here, we have Nikkia's new Velvet Setting Powder and also her Perfecting Sponges. I was very kind enough to receive these in the mail from Nikkia Joy Cosmetics, so thank you so much. Nikkia is an Australian YouTuber for those who don't know, and this is her own makeup brand. She also has beautiful lashes. I'm going to be taking a set of lashes from this little set here today as well. They are just gorgeous. But Nikkia is such a lovely person. I've had the pleasure of spending some time with her here and there when we've been at events in Sydney, and she's just so nice. And so I'm really excited to be trying out her makeup products. I've seen all the reviews from her customers and I have not seen one bad review. Everyone has been raving about these products. So the Velvet Finishing Powder, which comes in this beautiful compact, I just love Nikkia's branding. It's totally like my aesthetic. It gives me kind of like Chanel vibes, if you guys know what I mean. I love it. It's so beautiful. This is a 20 grams of powder, and it's a velvet finishing powder, and they say it's lightweight translucent setting powder infused with 6 powerful skincare ingredients to hydrate the skin whilst locking in makeup. It also helps to blur pores, fine lines and imperfections, and leaves a perfect velvet finish. It prevents makeup from creasing and caking and controls shine for up to 16 hours of perfect wear. It's scented with natural vanilla bean extract and non-comedogenic, cruelty-free and vegan. I don't know what comedogenic is, but it's cruelty-free and vegan. Then we have the blending sponges, which are for applying liquid, cream and powder products made out of a high-quality material, constructed with new micro pores to deliver the smoothest, most airbrushed finish, specifically designed to reduce product absorption and wastage. So I'm really excited to give this collection a go. So that's what we're going to be trying out today. I'll leave a link in the description box for you guys too. So if you're wanting to check out the products, you can shop them via the description box. So I'm going to start off with the actual Perfecting Sponge, which comes in this box, sponges I should say, because there's 2 of them. So these sponges are each slightly different. Okay, so the pink sponge, they feel pretty much the same when it comes to like their texture, but the pink sponge is just totally round. It's just like the same shape as a traditional beauty blender, so it has like no flat sides or anything. It just has that little point, and that is the pink one. And then the black one actually has like a rounded edge, but also this flat edge, which is really similar actually to Huda Beauty's makeup sponge. It actually feels quite similar to hers too, and it's one of my favorite sponges, so that's really promising. So it's got the flat side, it's got the round bottom, and the rest of it's rounded, and it's got the point. I like having a flat side on my sponges. I feel like it's easier when you're baking and stuff. Like if I was baking, I would use that flat side and drag it like that, instead of using like the round side or anything. So when you purchase that entire set, it is $85, and that comes with the powder and the 2 sponges, or the powder on its own is $55, which is comparable to like brands like Huda Beauty and all of that in pricing. And if you just buy just a singular sponge on its own, it's only $20. So I think that's pretty good price wise, and it should swell 3 times its size when dampened with water. So I'm going to quickly go ahead and give this one a little soak under some water. I will be right back. Holy moly, it definitely got heaps bigger. The pink one is not damp, the black one is now damp, and it's like crazy soft. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and quickly prime before I apply my foundation. I'm just using the Tarte hydrating base primer, and I'm just going to use the new Tarte face tape in the shade light medium sand for my foundation, and I'm matching it to my fake tan on my neck, not to the color of my face, just in case anyone was concerned by the color that I use. So I'm just going to dispense it directly on the sponge actually, like so. Oh yeah, it's not absorbing into the sponge at all, it's just sitting on top of it. I feel like it's definitely not soaking up like any of the foundation at all. Like I feel like that entire pump is on my face, which is good, which is really good. Traditional beauty blenders, bro, like soak up so much of your foundation, and I feel like my skin looks really nice and flawless. using this to apply it. In winter, I definitely prefer to apply all my foundations with sponges. Sometimes I do like to use a kabuki brush, but it's usually like in summer. In winter, I like the sponge because it makes my skin feel a little bit more like hydrated as the foundation's going on. Oh yeah, that applied it really nicely. About as flawless as you could possibly get, so that's really good. So I'll go ahead and I'll do the other side of my face now too. I feel like this applies your foundation so fast too because the bottom of it is so big. It's got a big booty. Gosh, I really do like this sponge. Okay, let me have a little close-up look-see of that again. Yeah, I'm really liking how that's blending the foundation out. Okay, so when it comes to applying foundation, it definitely gets a double thumbs up from me. I felt like it soaked up none of my foundation. I really feel like it stayed on the exterior of the actual sponge, which it looks like it has too. It does swell up to like a super big size. So to do my whole face with foundation, it was very quick. And yeah, I really liked it. I felt like it didn't shear out my foundation either. I feel like this is the same coverage that it would be if I used a brush. I feel like my skin's a little bit on the drier side at the moment because it is so cold here now, and it's definitely getting affected by that colder weather and the heating and everything. And I feel like this just made the foundation look a little bit more luminescent and a little bit more forgiving on my drier skin, which is nice. So next up, I'm going to go ahead and do my concealer with the pointy end of this sponge. I'm probably not going to use the pink sponge today. I'll probably just use the black sponge. But I'm going to take my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Neutral and pop that just under my eyes and over my face wherever I usually would. So I'll just start off by taking the round end for the concealer on my forehead and the main part of my concealer along my cheek and nose, and then I'll switch to the pointy end and let you know how I go. Okay, so now I'm going to switch to the pointy end and start blending under my eyes. Definitely blends concealer nicely. The only thing is because the sponge like enlarges so much, you've got to kind of pinch it to get the point to be a little bit more defined to get in around your inner corner. So like my Sigma 3D HD blender, the reason why I love it so much is because it has such a tapered point that is really defined, so it's really easy to get in around your eye. You can still do it with these sponges. It's just that because it's a little bit bigger, it's just like not quite as defined, so it's a little bit harder. But like the actual blending of the concealer, like it blends it beautifully. Okay, so now we're going to take the powder and actually set our face. So this is a Velvet Finishing Powder. It is a translucent powder, and I was reading that it has like a natural vanilla bean in it for fragrance. So that's what the fragrance is, so I'm excited to smell it. So when it comes to setting my face, I don't usually bake. I usually just use a large fluffy brush. Oh my god, I can smell it. It smells so yummy. Oh, vanilla is like my favorite fragrance. So the Huda Beauty vanilla perfume is like my favorite perfume. And this smells, it smells like vanilla. It smells like a cake. Literally smells like a cake. Okay, I'm really excited to try this. I don't bake under my eyes either. I just feel like my eyes can't handle it. I just usually use a dusting, and I use a tapered, it's a really loud truck. Okay, they're gone. I usually use a F35 tapered highlighting brush from Sigma, which is in my brush set with them. So I'm just gonna pat out my under eyes just in case I had any creasing. I'm getting old, so like it's inevitable. I'm gonna get a little bit of creasing under my under eyes because I have wrinkles there now, but that's okay. So I'm just going to use literally what is in the top of that powder sifter now on my F35 brush, and I'm going to set my under eyes with it. Set my forehead. Gosh, I love the smell of this powder. It smells so yummy. Like I could eat it. I feel like it's set under my eyes quite nicely. It feels very light on the skin, and it feels like super undetectable though. Like, it feels really good. Oh god, I seriously love how this smells. So I'm just going to take my large fluffy brush now, which is an F30 from Sigma, and I'm just going to like dust that around the bigger parts of my face. If all my makeup smelled like this, I'd be in love. Okay guys, so there is my face set. It definitely has a beautiful velvet finish. I feel like my skin does look really velvety. That's like definitely how I would describe it. The foundation I'm using, the Tarte Face Tape, the new one, it is sort of like a velvety finish too. That's how I would describe it. It's not like crazy matte, but it's not dewy. And I think this setting powder over the top of it is literally like a match made in heaven. And yeah, I think my skin looks really good. I think it's set under my under eyes quite nicely. It's not too heavy when you just dust it on with a brush. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup, and then I'll check in and show you guys the finished look and give you like my final verdict. I already know this foundation wears really well on me. I did a wear test, so I don't know if there's any point of really doing a powder wear test because this foundation on its own wears exceptionally well on me. So guys, I just actually popped on my contour and I thought I might do a little bake under my contour just to see how it goes with a damp sponge for baking. So I'm just going to tip some of it into the top of the actual compact, and then I'm going to use the pointy side and I'm just going to dip it straight in like so. I feel like that just like absorbs into the skin so nicely. Oh yeah, that's beautiful. Gosh, I'm really impressed, Nikkia. Like so impressed, and I can't get over how good it smells. If you don't like vanilla, you're going to hate it, but if you love vanilla, you're going to love it. Okay, let me get back to doing my base makeup. Okay guys, I am back with my full face of makeup. Please ignore if I get lipstick on my teeth. I'm using the Too Faced Melted Latex Lippies, and I forgot like how sticky and slimy they were, and they keep going onto my teeth. And I can't bother to take it off and change my lip entirely, so we're just gonna live our best like lipstick on teeth life. But I wanted to quickly jump on camera and give you guys my final thoughts. I feel like even though I didn't doubt that they would be great, my expectations have actually been exceeded, especially with this powder. This powder is so damn beautiful. So it's a loose powder that sets your makeup, that makes you look airbrushed, that doesn't make you feel dry, but still helps keep oils at bay, that still helps to keep your foundation intact longer. If you guys watch Nikkia, you know she has a really oily skin type and she's constantly on the quest to find products that will last all day on her skin. I'm not crazy oily, I'm more normal to dry, so with this particular foundation, it lasts well anyway. But typically with powders that are really geared to really oily skin types, on my skin type, end up making me look a bit crusty and dry out my skin too much. For example, Laura Mercier, great powder, right? It is a great powder, but for someone like me, I find that it really emphasizes fine lines. It really sucks all the hydration out of my base makeup and out of my skin, and it leaves me looking like crepey, and it can make me look a little bit older than what I am because of how it emphasizes all your pores and your skin and everything. This has like a blurring effect. Like everything Nikkia said in that little blurb that I read off the information card is true. I feel like my skin looks airbrushed. It looks so flawless. Nothing has settled into a single line on my face. I feel like my pores look like non-existent when usually they are a little bit more obvious across my nose and cheeks especially. I'm just so impressed. This foundation I know already wears well on me throughout the day, so I feel like the combination of this with a foundation that already works well for me, like there's no reason why it shouldn't last 10 hours on my skin for me. I freaking love the natural vanilla scent to it. It smells like cake. It is, it makes me want to eat the powder, I'm not gonna lie, but it's very pleasant. So if you guys love like vanilla and like bakery sort of smells, you're going to love this powder. It is so like finely milled and just beautiful. It's truly a 10 out of 10 for me. Like I was expecting it to be good, but I wasn't expecting it to possibly replace every single powder in my collection as my favorite setting powder. I'm going to go out there and say it. Nikkia, I think this might very well now be my favorite setting powder. It is so good. You have just nailed it. And not to mention the actual sponges are amazing sponges too. I love how this applied my foundation and my concealer. I also loved baking with the flat edge of this one. I didn't actually use it for cream contour because if you guys watch me, you'd know I don't ever blend cream contour out with sponges really. I always use my F04 brush from Sigma because I have quite a small face, so it's easier to blend it with this. Otherwise, like if I use the bottom end of this, it would probably be a little bit too blended across my face because I have a little head. If you have a bigger head, I'm sure it'll work a dream, or you could just like pinch the edges and just blend it like that. It expands beautifully. I'm going to give it a clean and I'll keep you guys posted about how it cleans up as well, but I love the feeling of it. The 3D HD blender from Sigma is still my number one, but I reckon this could be number two. Definitely could be number two. It just like blended everything beautifully. I felt like my foundation looked just airbrushed, and then when I added the powder on top, it was like even more airbrushed. I'm just super impressed. So I hope you guys found this video helpful and you enjoyed watching. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments, and of course subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I'll be talking to you in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.